Thank you for your interest in the Longo Pod. In this video, I'd like to show you some of the advantages of the Longo Pod. I'd like to show you how to set it up and some of its features. One of the most important features of the Longo Pod is the fact that it's very mobile, it's very light, it's able to move very quickly from location to location, but it's extremely steady and easy to move. What I'm going to do right now is show you how to set it up, and then once I show you how to set it up, I will show you some of the features that makes the Longo Pod very special. One of the major benefits of the Longo Pod is its ability to move quickly from location to location. The Longo Pod is made up of two pieces. It's made up of a base with wheels that can be moved very quickly and a pole. Now the pole could be operated separately, so you can have the pole, you can operate the camera, move it around, carry it around. Pole is very light, about 6 pounds with the camera. So you can move from location to location without the base. But with the base, what that gives you is a very stable platform, allows you to move very quickly. It's got wheels, set up quickly, and you don't have the fatigue of trying to keep everything level and everything straight while you're videotaping. So what I'm going to do right now is just go through the setup of how to put together the Longo Pod. So you have your base, you have your pole. It's designed to sit into a saddle, lock into a clip here, strap in with Velcro. There's a little clip in the bottom that locks the pole in. Once the Longo Pod's pole is locked into the base, it's very stable. You can lift it. You can see it fits very tightly and securely into the base. But one of the most powerful things about this design is you can very quickly level your pole. Now if your pole is not level, then when you go to move your camera left to right, you get this weird skewed effect. And so your pole needs to be level, and it needs to be able to be leveled quickly, and that's the beauty of the Longo Pod with its one-arm control. Simply losing that one control allows you to move the Longo Pod in any direction. You have your level up here, so you can very quickly see the level the Longo Pod, and lock it in very quickly, and it's now ready to go. Very, very powerful, allows you to move quickly from one location to another, level your pole quickly, and you're ready to shoot. What I'd like to do now is show you how to set up the Longo Pod. As you saw before, we have now placed the pole into the base. We've locked it in. The pole is now part of the base. We give you the handle to control. We give you the video monitor and sunshade. We give you the battery to run the monitor. We don't give you a camera, but we do have that package for sale. We don't give you the lance control adapter to your camera because there's many different ones. And then we give you the cable that runs from the camera head down to the control unit. Built onto the pole, we already have our tension coil here and our mount, and these stay on the pole ready to go. Taking the cable, and you have to know which side is the top and which side is the bottom. I hook up the cable to the top, and then what I do is I'll go ahead and wrap it around a couple times. What happens is when it's windy out, you can get the cable slapping against the pole, and you'll get that noise, and you don't want that. So then I come down and I hook the cable up to this bottom carabiner. Next, I'll go ahead and take my camera. In this case, this is the CX100 Sony. We mount it, we make sure it sits level. Now, one of the most important parts of setting up your Longo Pod and getting it to work properly is to make sure that your camera sits level on the head. And you need to make sure that it points left and right and everything's set up properly. I have my cable here with my lance adapter that will plug into the side of the camera. And we're going to go ahead and turn the camera on now. We'll take off the lens cover. We're going to go ahead and turn on the camera. So everything is all set here. And now I'm going to take this cable tensioner, run it up to the inside, and I'm going to run it through the cable here and hook it up to the back here. And what this does is this controls the up and down of the camera. So now we basically have got everything set, everything's in its place. Now we'll go ahead and extend the camera out. One of the really cool things about the Longo Pod is you're not locked into full height. You could set the height to whatever height you want. So let's suppose you were doing something in a, inside of an auditorium that only had 12-foot, 14-foot ceilings. You could set this height to whatever you want. You're not locked into the full height. But we'll go ahead and pull it all the way out. And now the Longo Pod, as far as up at the top, is all ready to go. So next I'll go ahead and install the monitor. The person that was shooting with this before is about 6 foot tall. I'm about 5'7". So clearly much too high for me. You're able to loosen up these yellow markers right here and just slide it down to where it's at the level you want it. Make sure it lines up straight with the camera. Tighten them back up. Very simply, it's now in the right spot for me. I also have another adjustment here that allows it to go up and down. I set it to where I want it, and now the monitor is ready to go. Next, we'll go ahead and install the battery, and then we'll go ahead and install the controller, and then once the controller is installed, I'll go ahead and hook up the cabling. Okay, so now everything is set. We've got our monitor on, we've got our handle on, we've got our cable coming down, which nothing's connected to yet, and so now we need to hook up the wiring. Okay, now that we've got all the wires hooked up, everything's set up, our monitor is now on, everything's working. Now what I want to do is set the controls. Once again, we've talked about leveling, so I take a look, I see that I'm level. I don't need to change this connector here. But one of the things I'm going to do is control, I've got to lock this in right here. So usually I'll pull this up, push down on that, lock the cable, and now that controls the camera moving up and down. Same thing with before, you're able to loosen up these two couplings, or these two connectors right here. You can slide the controller up and down till you can find a spot that you like. So if you're 6 foot tall and you want your camera up here, you want your controller up here, you've got it up there. If you're 5'2" and you want your controller down here, you can move it down there. Same thing we talked about, being able to move this up and down. So everything's ready to go. I can go left, I can go right. My controller allows me to go in and out. I can record here with the record button, turn it on, turn it off. The screen shows me when I'm recording. It shows me what I'm recording. And that's the beauty of the Longo Pod, is how smoothly it operates. Some of the other elevated monopods require you to use controls that are a little unconventional. This is very simple. This is the same controller that you would find on a tripod. Very simple, very easy to control. You look directly through the monitor to what's going on in the field. So anytime that I'm not sure, I'm lost, I can very quickly look to the side, see where I'm at, and get my position. Some of the other controllers have you look down. So as you're looking down to control, you have to raise your head up to see where you're at and then back down. This is a much more natural way, which then allows you to produce a better video. Let's suppose that you were filming a game on one field, say a soccer field that might have 20 or 30 fields. Let's suppose you were shooting at one field, and when you finished that game, you needed to move over to the next game to shoot that game. The Longo Pod allows you to very quickly and very easily move from one location to another. All you simply do, pull back on the camera, go ahead and move it to your next field, set it up, level it, and you're ready to shoot. It's that fast, it's that easy.